Oh, yes, I will complain about it every time I get in a Kia that has this function. We have this OLED screen here with dual function. I just think this is overcomplicated for complications' sake. Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and this is the new 2025 Kia Carnival SX Prestige in the hybrid powertrain. Yes, this is now offered with a hybrid in addition to that V6 that has been in the Carnival for years. I have been living with this, the last of the major minivans, for the last week, and in this video we're going to see how it compares to the Honda Odyssey we had just a couple of weeks ago, the segment bestseller, and tell you if I would buy this one for me and my family. All that and more. Stay tuned. Yes, Gearheads, I do want to thank Kia for filling out the minivan test loop here for us on the channel, bringing us the last of the major 4 players in the minivan segment. You have the sales leader, Honda Odyssey, you have the up-and-comer Toyota Sienna that everybody seems to care so much about, the stalwart in the Chrysler Pacifica, and now this, the newly hybridized Kia Carnival. We were actually in Chicago when Kia took the wraps off of this earlier this year, and now, yes, they're in dealer lots and ready for you to purchase. And this being the hybrid, I guess the biggest story actually starts up here underneath the hood. We'll talk more about styling in just a moment, but in addition to the V6 that is offered on this, you can now get this hybrid powertrain, which uses the 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that I have really come to like in all Hyundai and Kia products that I've sampled it in, that is mated to a stronger electric motor. This has the electric powertrain from the plug-in hybrid SUVs in Kia's lineup. So this makes over 200 horsepower and over 200 pound-feet of torque. And it all is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, no CVT, though perhaps the big complaint that most of you will have is it sends all that power out of just the front wheels. Yes, sadly, still no all-wheel drive powertrain options in this, in a platform shared with an all-wheel drive Telluride. Still front-wheel drive only on this. I suspect that has a lot to do with the packaging that makes this a minivan over the SUV Telluride. Speaking of the Telluride, this really is a boxier, more SUV-like minivan. In fact, Kia doesn't like you using the word minivan for this. They say MPV, multi-purpose vehicle, but it's a minivan, sliding doors, it's a minivan. Though the look of this one has surprised many. My wife, go check out our family review when that drops, and some of our friends, they say, that's a minivan? Because they really have ruggedized the styling of this. They have borrowed the star map lighting and the multi-lens array headlights from Sorento and other vehicles in their lineup. Really does give it a premium, more kind of bulky, masculine look, really accentuating the width with these vertical lights here on the side. Full LED lights here, full LED lights here, and just that opposite united grille and overall look up here. It really is nice. I like the updated front. We'll talk more about the back as we get around to it, but it is a very cleaned up, more masculine look across the board to go with that un-minivan-like design and persona that Kia is aiming for with this one. As we pull around to the side, I will go ahead and say we've been living with this one for a week. I've decided not to wash it. I wanted to show you what this ceramic gray, I believe is the name of the paint, looks like after living with it for a week. And let me tell you, it has been a nasty week here. Lots of rain and mist and grime and grossness. And yes, this is hiding the dirt very well. This kind of putty type paint that so many people refer to these new grays as, but it is hiding the dirt and grime quite well from a distance here. So you can see it is a very nice. The SX Prestige, which this is, gets black wheels as opposed to some machine-faced or gray wheels. I know a lot of people aren't a super huge fan of black wheels, but I really like Kia's design on wheels. They're really taking an up-level premium approach and giving us very unique designs across the board. These are wrapped in Continental CrossContact tires and do give for a nice ride. We'll talk more about that when we actually set this thing off in motion. As we pull around to the side of it, again, going with that un-minivan-like look, it is more boxy than any of its main rivals, and it just has a more rugged appearance across the board, more upright, more linear in all of its design lines and language. And then we have this very interesting design element right here that just kind of sets it off a little. It does contrast a little bit more on darker paint colors than our gray model here, but it is still a very cool, interesting design touch as we come around to the side of it. Otherwise, we get proximity keys and passive entry doors. There we go. Those are the words which I like a lot. As we move around to the back, the rear end got a redesign with that star map light and updated look. Opposites united here in the rear. I'll say I'm not as big a fan of the rear end redesign as I was pre-refresh. We do get all LED lights. We get that star map lighting that spans the width of the tailgate. But this panel that says Kia just kind of looks, I don't know, out of place. It just has a slightly off-putting look to me, but you let me know down in the comments because, let's face it, looks are subjective. We do get a dark Kia badge, a dark Carnival badge on this one, and then sliding across here, hybrid electric vehicle. That is just letting you know that, yes, of course, this is the new hybrid model. But before I open the hatch, I'm going to have to put you down on the tripod just to show you how much storage is back here in the back. Now, I do have the vehicle running right now, but this does have Kia's Smart Access key, their new generation key, with a smart activated liftgate back here, so I don't have to kick or dance underneath. I just have to have the vehicle off, locked, and when you walk up to the back, it beeps a few times to open up and let you know. Check out our family video. I do a full demonstration, but I will open it up the old-fashioned way. Still gives you a few beeps to know, hey, step out of the way a moment. But when you do open it, we have nearly 8 cubic feet more storage space behind the third row seats here than in the sales leader, segment sales leader in the Honda Odyssey. So yes, an absolute ton of space back here, over 40 cubic feet of storage space, enough to put my entire self back here. And then with a simple pull of one lever, you can fold these third row seats right into the floor, though it does this sort of method as opposed to the Honda and Chrysler's tilt method. And I don't know, it just kind of packages down here a little bit differently. It is not my favorite. I definitely like how Honda and Chrysler go about their stow in the floor third row seats versus Toyota and Kia, but still massive amounts of room back here. And then you can fold and move and do all kinds of stuff with the second row to give you even more space. Again, more space than the Honda that leads the segment. Putting this back up, you just pull a couple levers and latches and boom, it is back up into place. We do have some power back here, which is nice. We have some additional storage back here, which is nice. All the way around, very usable rear section here in the back of the Kia Carnival. Then you can see we have our power liftgate right here. I've got plenty of room at 5'10" to stand underneath it. Before we get in this one, I did want to show you that Kia proximity key. It's their new key we first saw on the EV9 and Telluride. You can see we have our power sliding buttons for our door, remote start, lock up there, unlock, hatch release, panic button right there. But interestingly, they're all around the sides, which makes hitting any button other than the lock button up here kind of difficult to not hit what's on the opposite side. Though you don't have to do a lot with it because you can just keep it in your pocket, your purse, wherever you might, because it is totally proximity. You can see the mirror folded out as I approached, so it knows I'm close. And then I put my hand passively opening the door right there. It knows to unlock just by touching the back of the door handle. I will say you push that right there and it locks it back up. As we open it up, you can see this is the interior that I wanted to test, the cream and navy. I love that Kia is willing to do colors and be bold with their interiors. Though I will say with just, what do we have, 2,500 miles on the odometer on this one, the cream areas are showing some dirt and some wear, and I have done several things to try and clean it up. I will go ahead and say we don't have a lot of gloss black in this. This is kind of a satiny black, which I like. Two-person memory seats, all your mirror and window controls here, express up, down, all the way around, which I really like. Lots of storage right there, lots of storage down low, but no middle shelf like we got on the Honda Odyssey. Multi-positional seat here with four-way lumbar, which I really like. And then again, these cream and navy blue seats. And yes, you can see there is some staining on that driver's seat. I tried a lot of different things, including Meguiar's leather cleaner and a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to get this purple stain off. I don't know what it is. It was here when the vehicle was delivered to me. So it is just something to consider when speccing out your interior colors. Otherwise, though, I am loving all of the navy blue, the cream in this. It works very well for me, including the navy blue steering wheel here. Go ahead and put my foot on the brake. The button to start it is actually right back here. And when you push it, you get a lot of beeps and chimes, but nothing really happens. The engine doesn't need to come on because this is a hybrid. We get dual 12.3-inch screens behind the steering wheel here, which I really like. This is customizable. You can pan through a bunch of different things on this center section, including all your drive information, but I really like keeping it here just to see what our fuel economy is. You can see we're not quite getting what the EPA estimates this one at, but still rather nice. As we move up here, I don't really look at the screen too much because we have a full head-up display right here that gives me traffic sign recognition, my speed, and my lane keeping information. So I really do like that a lot. All that can be controlled here from the steering wheel. We do have paddles on the back of the steering wheel where you can go through those 6 speeds on that stepped automatic transmission. Coming over here, there are some cool things in the screen. Lots of cameras in this vehicle. First one I want to show you is the passenger view camera. There is a ceiling mounted camera back behind me, and that is in front of all of those rear seats, made possible, unlike Chrysler's FamCam with their big panoramic glass roof. This has 2 individual sunroofs, so this camera is actually in the ceiling in between the 2 sunroofs, allowing me to see the all the seats, and you can double tap and zoom into whatever seat you want. So I like that a whole lot. You can see here we've got a little panel here now, and it's about to start raining on us, but we also have passenger talk, which uses a microphone right up here to amplify my voice throughout the rest of the vehicle. So now everyone in the vehicle can hear me. I can see everybody's faces. So this not only works as a family hauler with kids, this works well with hauling people like my parents. I've taken my parents around on a couple of trips in this and have been able to have really good conversations with them. Plenty of room back there in the back. We'll talk more about that here shortly, but yes, that is the passenger view. Also, I'll go ahead and show you while we're talking cameras. There's a camera button right here. We have full 360 cameras in this. You can even pan around a digital version of our Carnival minivan, and I really like that a lot. You can see a different wheel design here on this one, but still crisp cameras all the way around. I really like that. In addition to all those cameras, you can see there's my visibility out the back. I don't really need this, but there is a camera mounted on the back of the hatch on the exterior of the vehicle, so I do have a nice clear view behind me. No worry about headrests or passengers back there. And you can see, yes, we have our home link buttons built into that as well. Lots of buttons up here for our dual sunroofs and all our lighting, our sliding doors up here, but no additional storage, no mirror here like we got in the Honda Odyssey. So really, if you do want to see the people back behind you, you are going to be doing passenger view. Otherwise, this uses Kia's updated interface here. It does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but as you might have noticed, I am filming on my phone right now, so I don't want to use wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can also plug in via USB-C. This is a dual function plug that can be just power or power and USB. We have a USB-C here. We have additional power right there. Qi wireless charger down there. A little bit of storage right here. A little bit of gloss black here, not my favorite, but very big cup holders here that will hold a Yeti or a Stanley cup. So they've expanded their cup holders with these little grippers. Rotary dial shifter. That does a good job of being quick and easy to use. Electronic parking brake. All your different drive modes here. You can see we have Eco, Sport, and Smart. We'll test all those out here in a little bit when we get going. Heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated front seats, though they don't remember where they were set every time you're in the vehicle. Heated steering wheel, parking sensors, parking cameras, and then 2 poverty blinks. This is a $54,000 top trim. Interested to know what they thought would go here that we don't get. And now, yes, I will complain about it every time I get in a Kia that has this function. We have this OLED screen here with dual functions. So you can see right now we have volume and tuning and some buttons for all of our infotainment purposes. Hit that button right now, and now we have our dual zone, actually tri-zone climate controls. It's not my favorite. It's never what I want it on when I want it to be what I want it to be on. It is just not my favorite. I will leave it at that, but you can do voice controls for your climate. You also have redundant controls here for your infotainment. So they do give you options. I just think this is overcomplicated for complications' sake. It is not that cool. It is not that nifty to me. I really just wish they would give us more traditional controls like we see in EV9 and the new K4. Coming to me, I'm in my preferred seating position. You can see I've got plenty of headroom, even with that sunroof up above me. I'm plenty comfortable right here. I've got plenty of room thanks to my tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Though it is a manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel, but still plenty of comfortable space up here that I can reach everything and get to everything just fine. Now let's pop out, and I've got a ton of stuff to show you in those back 2 rows. There are multiple ways to get into the door here. If you're my 6-year-old, you push this button. If you're an adult, you pull this handle, but lots of different ways to access the power sliding doors here. When you get in, you will notice 3 across seating in here, which I really like, even here on this top trim. So yes, that means if you are mathing correctly, seating for 8 on this model. And you can see here, I've got plenty of legroom. I've got hard plastic seat back here. I've got map pockets. I've got power in the seats up in front of me. I've got cup holders on the back of the center armrest. I've got power on the back of the center armrest. Lots of stuff going on just from this seat right here. I even have fully sliding seats. Oops, I accidentally hit the power button to close the door. But I can talk to you about the power sliding windows that go down a good portion of the way. Also have manual sunshades that do a good job of covering a majority of the window. So I do like that a lot. But yes, plenty of legroom here, like an embarrassing amount of legroom right here in the second row. In the middle seat here, it is a comfortable enough seat. It does recline, as do both of these outside seats. But if I come around to here, like it was when I got here. It actually folds flat. I've got a nice tray here, 2 cup holders here, and you may have noticed the seatbelt is actually in the seat itself, not in the ceiling like in the center seat for the Honda Odyssey. That's because there is this nifty trick right here. Kia calls this the minding seat, and well, it goes really far back, so much so that if the third row were actually folded into the floor, I'd practically be where the third row of seats normally sit here in this one, really giving an embarrassing amount of space to the seat here, which gives you lots of options. You can have 2 forward-facing car seats here, a rearward-facing car seat here, vice versa, however it may be, so that you don't really have to worry about width. You really have a lot of options with this sliding center minding seat here in the middle. And then something I really like, we have a fully opening sunroof back here. I think that is a luxurious touch that you really don't expect in a vehicle with a Kia badge and with a $54,000 price tag. Really a lot of cool options here. I do have some HVAC controls back here. I have air vents up in the ceiling, lots of amenities even back here in the second row, but I will go ahead now and show you how to get into the third row, because that is a little bit of a letdown for me. You can see we do have seat belts in the seat themselves, but they don't fold forward. So if I had Tucker's child seat in here, yeah, there's no way I'm getting into the third row behind his child seat. But now we can climb safely into that third row. And you can see we do get decent space to climb into the third row. We'll go ahead and do just that. You can see we do have lower latch points on both of the outboard seats. But if you want to see me install Tucker's child safety seat in this vehicle in multiple positions, be sure and hit that subscribe button. As I move back here, I will go ahead and lift the headrest to its upright position. But yeah, I'm a little tight on headroom, head space back here, but just over my hip here, there is this tether that I can fully recline. And now I'm very comfortable. I've got my HVAC vent right here above me. I've got a reading light. I've got cup holders. I've got power. I've got a sunshade back here in the back. So I've got lots of amenities even here in the way back of the vehicle. And with cabin talk, I can still have a conversation with everybody in the vehicle, and I like that a lot. Sitting behind these positions here, I've still got plenty of room. You can see my knees are not underneath my chin. This really is a comfortable vehicle when you recline this third row seat for people of all ages, sizes, and body types. You really can fit a lot of people in here very comfortably and go a very far way. Now let's hop behind the wheel there and see how this thing actually performs out on the road. Before we set off in this one, I do want to say a huge thank you to our acceleration partner, Racebox Racing Timers. If you want to get one for yourself, save 15% on us and help us out in the process. All links and coupon codes are down in the video description below. But I will say this is a first for me, 0 to 60 testing a minivan. So we'll go ahead, we'll put it in sport mode. And we'll get out here on the open road, nice straight stretch of road here in front of us. And yeah, we'll put this turbocharged 4-cylinder to the test. So firm on the brake, firm on the accelerator, nothing's happening, drop the brake. And we got a little bit of wheel spin from the front wheels, but we are off. 6-speed automatic, so it's actually shifting through gears. And 8.42 seconds, 0 to 60. Now, I will say I was just in the Kia K4, their new compact sedan, with both the base 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder and the turbocharged non-hybrid version of this engine, that 1.6. And I will say this 842 is right on par with what that 2-liter naturally aspirated got you. So in a vehicle that can carry 8 people in comfort with all the luxuries that this one affords you, I'd say that 842 ain't a bad number. I mean, it's not great, but it ain't bad. 241 horsepower, 270 pound-feet of torque. This thing is quick for what it is. But you're not buying this for drag racing, though you will want to know that when accelerating to merge on the highway or whatever. You're really wanting to know, what is this like from behind the wheel here, sitting in this one and getting to drive it. And let me tell you, first and foremost, the seating position, much like the exterior styling, is very un-minivan. I will say we were just in the Honda Odyssey, the best-selling minivan in this segment, and getting in that one, you felt low, you felt like there was a lot of vehicle around you, you felt like you were in a minivan. Sitting here in the Carnival, you don't. You really do feel like you're in an SUV. You have a more upright sitting position. You have a great view all the way around you from the big windows, though these A-pillars are a little chonky. But I've got a generally good view of everything around me. I can even see a little bit of my hood here in front of me, something I couldn't do in the last Honda Odyssey we were in. So again, it does have a little more SUV-like persona to it, even from behind the wheel here. And I think that is going to be a big selling point if Kia can get people to their dealerships and so stop shopping exclusively the Honda and the Toyota competition. Yeah, you definitely want to go sit in one for yourself. It is a different experience. And then when you set off in one, I will say the ride of this has been very good. There was a big pothole, nothing, like shake and shimmied a little bit, but the ride in this has been good. It's not too floaty, it's not too firm, it's not too body roll heavy, though we are about to get into some twistier corners, and we'll see just how much that holds true. But I will say, generally speaking, this has been a very comfortable vehicle to pilot. It's plenty torquey when I need it. It's got plenty of power when I need it. The 6-speed seems to know exactly what I want it to do when I want it to do it. And then we can just go. Most minivans are good for long-haul cruises, and that's no exception here with this one either. I am seeing 397 miles of estimated range left, and we've already driven it 170, and we are not getting the EPA estimated 33 mpg combined. We're getting 29.5 in our time with it, though the engine hasn't quite broken in just yet. But still, over 500 miles of range on a single 19-gallon tank of regular unleaded fuel. Yeah, this thing is going to go and go and go and go for a very long ways. And we've got some deer crossing the street here in front of me. And for a vehicle such as this, that is very comfortable to sit in. These seats are very comfortable. I've got four-way lumbar, 2-person memory seat. I've got plenty of room in all 3 rows. I can say this is a good one to take on your next long family road trip. If you have to rent a minivan, or if you are in the market to buy one, I highly suggest looking at the Kia Carnival Hybrid. There is a lot of good here in this one. And if you just aren't sold on the hybrid powertrain, the hybrid technology, you want a good tried and true V6, well, Kia offers that as well, giving you the option of a naturally aspirated V6 in this one. Still though, only powering those front wheels. Perhaps the only miss overall, besides this infotainment setup right up here, that I have in this one. Though I don't really foresee us as a family needing all-wheel drive in any vehicle, especially a minivan, for us here in East Texas. I know it is of concern to some people in some more, we'll say, inclement climates, especially this time of year. I will say I am filming this nearly a week before Christmas, and it looks like the beginning of fall outside. We are just now getting into those cooler temperatures, but if you can't tell by my short sleeves, yeah, we're not all-weather climates here, or we're not all-wheel drive climates here in East Texas. We would barely ever need to use all-wheel drive here in East Texas. But I do foresee, yeah, that being a miss for some more northern climates, especially in a vehicle with this SUV-like attitude, look, persona, driving characteristics, and everything else. It feels like it is the only thing that is not SUV-like about this. Well, that and maybe like the cavernous storage back behind me. So it really is almost the best of all worlds and makes for a very compelling case to woo buyers away from sales leader in the Honda Odyssey and that new up-and-comer Toyota Sienna that you, the shopper, can't seem to get enough of. Those things are very hard to come by. I don't think Toyota can produce them quick enough. And I really hope that is also the case for this Kia Carnival. I like competition. I like minivans. I like that there's still competition in the minivan segment. Before we wrap this one up, though, we do have a little bit of a straight stretch here in front of me. We're going to do 2 more 0 to 60 runs, one going slightly uphill, one coming slightly downhill, and we'll average all 3 of them together. Remember, 842 was our first run. Now we'll see here what we can get on runs 2 and 3. Nobody behind me. We're still in sport driving mode. We'll come to a full stop here and put our foot firmly on the brake, firmly on the accelerator. Nothing happens, but yeah, still a little wheel spin, but a little bit better launch there. Yeah, we're getting better numbers so far. Keep in mind, we're going uphill still, and 822 now going uphill in this one. That's our best run thus far, but yes, the tires warmed up, the engine warmed up, everything figured it out just a little bit better, and we didn't have the wheel slippage to start off with. Now, turning around and going back in the other direction, I firmly suspect this to be our best of 3 runs because we have gravity working with us on this one, going slightly downhill. Full on the brake and on the accelerator, lift the brake, and we are off. A little bit of wheel spin on that one. Not our best, yep, just a little bit worse than our first run to 30 and 68.09, so it made it up in the second half of that run. Very impressive. So a little bit of real world testing for what you're going to get on full throttle acceleration in the Kia Carnival. Really, those are good numbers for highway passing, highway merging, and the like. I'm actually very impressed. Very tempted to try and get under 8 seconds in this one. All right, so it bugged me that I couldn't get it below 8 on camera, so I left the 0 to 60 race box timer up and did a few more runs. It turns out the worst enemy to acceleration here in the Carnival is wheel slippage, wheel spin. These Continental CrossContact tires are built for comfort, not drag racing. And so really, to get the best acceleration, you need to be on highly textured pavement like I'm currently on right now, and like I was on for most of my tests today. But again, when I got onto smoother pavement, it was wheel spin, wheel spin, wheel spin, wheel spin. So tires could be a big improvement if acceleration is just lacking for you here in the Carnival, or find some highly textured pavement. But who's drag racing minivans anyway, right? But as you know, I'm fighting the sunset. We've already seen some deer crossing the road. I'm not going to get too crazy in this one. But if you want to see our full family review where Holly is here behind the wheel, Tucker's in the back seat, we install the car seat, we do all the things, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop from us. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com where you will find links to everything, including our award-winning podcast. But as for me, on my favorite driving road, in perhaps my favorite minivan, yeah, I really do think I'd buy this over the Odyssey, over the Sienna. I like some packaging on the others a little bit better. I like some of the options on the others a little bit better. I can even ignore the complaint I have with the infotainment HVAC controls in this one because I like it just that much. But yeah, follow along with us on all of that. And until next time, gearheads, bye. I bet going downhill I can get sub 8 seconds, but it is what it is.